Hi everyone, I've got a quick sewing project for you today. So I was passing an Aldi the other day and I needed something, I think washing dishwasher tablets or something like that, I can't remember. And I thought, I'll go in there and I'll pick some up. So like you do, I've not been in Aldi for a long time, so I had a quick walk around and I came across this fat quarter pack. So it says So Crafty Fat Quarter. They're 18 by 22 inches and it's a 6-pack and they're 100% cotton. It says machine wash at 30, do not bleach and tumble dry on low heat. Iron on a low heat. So I'll just show you the 6 patterns that's in the pack and then I'm just going to cut it and press it and then I'll come back and I'll show you the project from start to finish. So this is the first one. It's got all these little foxes on it and this is kind of a bit like a kind of an Air Force blue colour. Then you've got this, looks like leaves in orange, which will go with that nicely. And then you've got this blue check. So all those three go together lovely and would make a nice project. And then the other three, you've got these green and orange coloured leaves. There's a plain orange, and then look at this with the hedgehogs. So again, those three would all go nice together. So that's the 6, and as I say, it says they're 18 by 22. And by the way, even the twill ribbon can be used. It's not long enough to use on this project. Well, one half, for one half it would be, but it's not enough in total, but I have got some of this. But, you know, if you don't have twill or ribbon, you could make your own ties with fabric. So that's the 6. I just thought I'd show you them. So I'm just going to cut these up ready to save some time and then I'll be back to show you how to make the project. Okay, so I'll give you the measurements that I'm using, but you can use any measurement you want. Once you see how this goes together, it's really easy. You can just adjust it yourself. So, and I've used these measurements because it kind of makes it easy for getting out of your fat quarter, especially if your fat quarter is 22 inches long. So I've got 2 pieces of the plain orange, which are 10 by 2.5. I have a piece of orange, which is 11 by 7. So 11 by 7. I've got 2 pieces that are 11 by 8.5, and then 1 piece for the inside, which is 11 by 22. This is just cut in 1 piece. So that's what I've got so far. So I'm just going to go over to the sewing machine now and start sewing. Okay, so I'm using a Brother V5 LE, which is a sewing and combined embroidery machine, but any sewing machine will do because for this project, it's just a simple straight stitch. So on my machine, I'm going to go into sewing. I'm going to choose number 3, which is the needle position in the middle. The first thing I'm going to do is sew the ends on these 2 pieces that were 10 by 2.5. So basically what I've done on here, I've folded in 1/4 inch, then 1/4 inch again, at each end on both pieces, and I'm just going to sew this down. That's just the first thing I'm going to do, just to get it out of the way. Okay, so that's those 2 pieces done. They can just go on one side. Just cut them apart and cut my thread off. So now I'm going to bring in my piece that's for the bottom of the bag, and I'm going to bring in one of the pieces of the top fabric, and these are going to be sewn together. So this is my fabric in the right orientation, and this is going to be sewn on the bottom. So I'm going to put them right sides together and sew all the way along. Now you could pin, you can clip, whatever you want to do. So as I said before, I've just got my needle in the middle position. So that's all I'm going to do. I'm going to line the edge of the foot up with the edge of the fabric, and I'm going to sew. So I'm just going to do a few stitches to go back, and then just keeping this fabric nice and together, I'm just going to sew all the way along. This really is a very easy project, and it would make a great last minute gift for somebody if you don't know what to give them. I mean, anybody can use these little bags. You can keep anything in them. So that's what I've got now. So I'm just going to press this open with my hand, and I'm just going to do a top stitch just along this edge. So I've got the seam pointing up to the top fabric. In fact, I'm going to put the seam going down to the darker fabric. So I'm just going to press it down with my hands like so, and I'm going to top stitch along here, so that'll hold that down. It doesn't matter if you forget to do this, to be honest, because this is all going to be inside anyway. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to line the inner edge of my foot up with this orange piece. I've got the seam going this way underneath, and I'm just going to do a top stitch all the way down. And just by using that inner section of my foot, it's hopefully going to hold that fabric underneath down. If I moved it so that this edge was here, I wouldn't be catching this seam underneath. Like I say, it doesn't matter if you forget this bit. And I've not gone backwards and forwards at that end, I forgot, but it doesn't matter because it'll all get caught up. So this is what we've got so far. So now this other piece is going to attach onto this, but this orange piece is going to fold in half like so. So you want to make sure that when you attach, especially if your pattern's got a direction like mine has, you want to make sure that you fold this bit up first and make sure you get this in the right orientation. Then you can flip it down and sew these two together. And then when you flip it up, the front and the back of your bag will have your fabric going in the right direction. I hope this camera angle's okay. I've not, because I've moved my craft room round again a couple of months ago, I've not really done a lot of filming sewing, and I'm trying to work out, you know, if the camera angle's okay. But anyway, so just do a few stitches forward and a few stitch back, and back to having the foot lined up with the edge of the fabric. Just making sure they're together. This fabric actually feels, you know, quite firm to work with. It feels as if it's maybe been starched. Just do a couple of back stitches. Cut my thread. Finger press the fabric towards the darker side. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Turn it over and line that inside edge of that foot up again. Let me turn it round so I've got it on the right side. There you go. So I can line this inside section of the foot up with the edge of the orange fabric and just sew down just to hold that fabric underneath in place. Just gives it a little bit of extra detail, that's all. Just makes it look a little bit more finished, you know, and probably takes, you know, a couple of seconds just to do it, but will give the overall appearance of the bag a nice finish, polished look. So that's what we've got now, one big long piece of fabric with the orange at the bottom. So this is how it's starting to look. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to put it right sides together and I'm going to sew down both sides and try and line up, because it's got a different colour on the bottom, try and line up your two seams. Don't worry if, you know, you're a little bit astray at the top here, because this is all going to get caught up within the bits where we put the thread in, the ribbon or the twine or the whatever I'm going to use, the twill. So just line up these two sections, and as I say, because this is quite stiff, it folds together quite nicely. You can pin or clip it if you're unsure of what to do. And again, I'm just going to line the edge of the foot up with the edge of the fabric, do a few stitches forward, a few stitches back, and then just go down that seam. I'm not going to pin or clip mine together, I'm just going to go for it. At the end of the day, if it's not 100% lined up, it's a handmade item. But you know, we want to try and get it as nice as possible. Okay, so I'm just going to turn it round and do the other side. So again, I'm just trying to make sure that the orange section lines up together. Pop this in. Okay, so that's what we've got so far. So I can turn this right side out now. Just going to get something to poke out those corners. So this is how it's looking now. Okay, so you can see we've got the contrast on the bottom. So I'm just going to pop that on one side. I'm going to bring in this other piece, which is the lining, and fold this right sides together. And I'm going to sew down one side completely. And on the other side, I'm going to sew down, and I'm going to leave a section about 3 or 4 inches open and then sew down to the bottom, because this is all going to go one inside the other, and that's how we're going to turn it the right side out. So just make sure that it's all lined up. Again, I'm just using the edge of the foot as my guide. That's why I've set my needle in the middle. Okay. Flip it over, back stitch, I'm going to do a couple of back stitches, couple forward, cut my thread, lift my foot, leave a gap, start sewing again. Do a couple forward, a couple back. Okay, just going to go over to the other camera now just to show you how this is going to go together. And we have one last little bit of sewing and then this is nearly finished. Okay, so this is what we've got so far. So we've got the lining piece sewn together with a gap on one side, and then this is the outside of the fabric turned right side out. Okay, so these two pieces now you can press this if you want at this stage, it's entirely up to you, but I'm just going to leave it as it is. So these two pieces now that I started off with at the beginning, I'm going to fold this in half and I'm just going to finger press it. And like I say, because this fabric, you know, feels as though it's maybe been starched, pressing this by hand is so easy. But I would definitely advise to press all your fabric either before you cut it or at least once you've cut it before you start sewing. Okay, so what's going to happen with these now, just going to bring in my wonder clips. You can pin or clip, it doesn't really matter. Just put that to one side for now. So these are just going to sit centrally to the outside of this bag with all the open ends facing up like the bag. Okay, so open this out, position it centrally. You should have probably just under an inch on either side, and then just clip that in place like so. Then I'm going to flip it over and do the same with this. So it's being clipped to the right side of the fabric. So you've got right sides together, open edges facing up. And you can see where your other one is. So just kind of make sure that you get them as lined up as possible. Get your edges all together. And clip. So that's what you've got so far. Okay. Now all this is going to go inside this. So that's why this one's wrong side out and this one's right side out, because when this goes inside this, the two right sides are together. Okay. Slide it in, open it back up and just pull it all the way down to the bottom. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't have to be in the exact position at the moment. You just want it to the bottom because these edges are going to be lined up together. So the first thing I would do is get my side seams and put them together. So I'm going to put them as best I can together, try and nest the seams on one going one way and the seams on the other going the other, and I'm going to put a clip. And then I'm going to come round to the other side and do the same. So I'm finding the side seam on the outer part of the bag and the side seam on my lining. I'm just letting the seams go whichever way they want, but opposite, so it's not as much bulk when you're sewing. And then you just want to make sure that this is all tucked in. And then all as I'm going to do, I'm going to hang on to everything and re-clip the clips, so it's clipping everything now, all those three sections together. Like so. Flip it over and do the same. So where I've got the little ribbon holder or whatever you want to call it, can't think of its proper name, I'm just going to re-clip. Okay. So that's how it's looking now, all clipped together with all the layers together. So I'm going to take this back to the sewing machine and I'm going to sew all the way around the top. So you don't have to do this, but if you've got a section of your machine that moves so you can expose the free arm, then this section will be easier to sew if you can. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to bring this and slide it so that it goes under the free arm, and I'm going to start on my seam. or near my seam. So I'm just going to line the edge of the needle up with the edge of the foot. I'm going to line up the edge of the foot with the edge of the fabric, and I'm just going to sew all the way around. So again, I'm just going to do a few stitches forward and a few back, and I'm just going to take my time, follow the edge of the fabric and just sew all the way around. And by having this free arm on your machine, it lets your fabric flow round and just makes it a little bit easier. But it's easy to do if you've not, if you can't remove the free arm. Just take your time, just make sure you keep the bottom fabric out of the way so you're not sewing everything together. So I'm keeping mine flowing from under the machine, and just remove the clips or pins, whatever it is you've got. And then when you get to where your seam is, if your seam's facing towards your needle, just take your time, hold it down till it goes under the foot. Once it's under the foot will hold it in the right direction. Doesn't matter if it flips over, but it just saves on some bulk. And then just keep sewing all the way around until you get back to the other side. And if you get a little pucker, don't worry about it. No one's going to see it when it's all scrunched up with your thread or your ribbon. And that's it, I'm back at the beginning. Okay, so this is what we've got, hopefully all sewn together. Just make sure you've caught it all on the inside. If you've lined everything up together, you should have everything caught up. So what I'm going to do now, where the hole is, I'm going to put my fingers in there and drag out the bag through this gap. If you're an experienced sewer, you probably won't even be watching this because you'll know how to do it. But if you're a beginner or you just want a quick project, just pull everything out. And like I said, you can keep all sorts in these. You can use them in your craft room, keep bits and pieces in them, anything. Keep them in your bathroom, under your sink, with spare toiletries or whatever in. Just poke out your corners. No one's going to see it because this is the lining, but the nicer you can get it, the better the finished item's going to be. So I've said this many times before, I use one of these big ball tools. It's a Pergamano tool, I think. Never done Pergamano in my life, but I've obviously got it from somewhere. So this is how it's going to look now. So there's the opening. So if you put your fingers in where the opening is and pull, it should, pull that seam together for you with your fabric folded in. Now, you could put some, is it called steamer seam, that sticky stuff, and hit it with an iron. You could hand sew it, but no one's going to see this because, as I say, it's going to be on the inside. I'm going to take this back to the machine and I'm just going to sew that seam up right as close to that edge as I can possibly get it. Okay, and then I'll come back and I'll show you. And there it is all sewn up. So now all you've got to do is open your bag, push that inside, push it down into the corners. I've got a stray thread there that just has come through. Just cut that off. Push that down. This is how it's looking now. You could, if you want, go back to your machine and top stitch this all the way along. It's entirely up to you. I've not done it on the other ones, but you can, but I am going to press it. Okay, now I've got my heat press on, so I'm just going to give it a quick press with the heat press. It is going to get creased again because I've got to thread this with the cord, but at least I can kind of, show it that I want the fabric on the lining to fold underneath. I'm going to bring in my cotton tape. See if I've got enough of this. Should have plenty. And like I say, the tape that was on the packaging is the same kind of tape, so keep this. Don't throw it away, you can use it. And I've got plenty. You want enough because it's got to wrap around the bag twice. Okay, so basically all I've done, I've just made sure that that lining's pressed in. So you want a biggish safety pin, and you want to get one end of your thread. Now if you've not got any of this, that's my heat press telling me it's at temperature, but I've already ironed. If you've not got any of this, you could make your own cord. So I'm going to start at one end. I've got my pin attached. I'm just going to send it through. If you've got one of those threading tools, use that, but a decent size safety pin does the same thing. If you've got a baby in your house, a nappy pin, if you use nappies, pull that through, flip it over, and then come back through the other side. So you've gone through and round and back. I'll show you in a minute. Just keep pushing it through, pushing and pulling, and it will go through. And because this orange piece started out at 2.5 inches, and obviously it's been sewn to the other fabric, you're left with a good kind of inch. So a 3/8 or 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch ribbon will go through here easily. You want to keep pushing and pulling till it comes back out the other side. And what I would do, I would leave a bit here that's kind of comes to the end. So you can see I've started here, gone in, and then come round the other side. And then I would pull it through. So leave yourself a bit of, so you've got a bit of something there, and then pull it through. So you've got about 6 inches or so, and then cut the end of the thread. Take your needle off. You're going to tie these two pieces together in a knot on the end. You can sew them if you want, but a knot is fine. Just try and get it as close to the edge as you can. Nice tight knot. You can trim that off, but it probably will keep fraying. You could just, hit it with the flame of a lighter. So this one started this way and went round, so this one's got to start at this side now and go round. So I'm going to do exactly the same thing. So I'm going to get my pin attached to my thread and then start at this side. And into the way, like I start filming, and then, Hannah's constantly messaging me. And I forgot to put my phone on silent. Okay, so I've come out, just going to turn it over, pull it, and then come back through. So you'll end up with 2 open ends on one end and 2 open ends on the other. And then just kind of try and get your threads as near to the same size as you can. Again, tie a knot in the end. Try and get it as close to the end as possible, then you've not got a load of twill or twine or whatever. And it will lie flat when it's when it's not folded up. So I'm just going to give this a quick iron, and there it is finished. And then you just pull on the twine and it all folds up, and you've got yourself a nice little gift to give to somebody. And that was all made from a fat quarter from Aldi, and I've got plenty left that I could probably get another one using the same combination, and it's all fully lined, or if I can't get one in the exact same size, I could probably make one smaller, but then I've got the other half of the fat quarter that I can make another one. So the fat quarter, I don't know if I said at the beginning, I can't remember, it was $4.99 for 6 fat quarters. So I think that's, you know, a good deal, and as I say, I love how that looks. So I hope you like that project. I hope it's given you some ideas maybe for, you know, some last minute gifts, or you could even make one of these and put some kind of toiletries or chocolates or something in it, so it's like a gift within a gift. I think if you went to somewhere, you know, like your local supermarket or chemist or like a B&M, and you can get all those like face masks and foot masks and scrubs and that kind of thing. My daughter Hannah loves anything like that. I generally always make her a bit of like a little pamper box up, you know, for Christmas. You could get all those bits and put them in one of these, and then when all the inside's been used, you've still got your little bag that you can use for something else. Anyway, I hope it's helped. Please give the video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.